Today we're continuing our series on the book of James, putting faith into practice. This is the theme of the book as James is describing what a life of faith is going to look like. And as we go through here, what we've been doing is just hitting some highlights to see what this is to look like in our life as we live by faith. In this 8th lesson, we're going to be talking about planning for the future. Planning is a part of all of our lives, and we need to make sure that as we do this, we are mindful of God as we make our plans so that we can do this by faith. Let's look at James chapter 4, verses 13 through 15. Come now, you who say, today or tomorrow we will go to such and such a city and spend a year there and engage in business and make a profit. Yet you do not know what your life will be like tomorrow. You are just a vapor that appears for a little while and then vanishes away. Instead, you ought to say, if the Lord wills, we will live and also do this or that. There are 3 points that we need to notice here about what James says about planning for the future. First is that the future is uncertain. James reminded us that we do not know what our life will be like tomorrow. Our lives here are temporary. Besides the fact that death could come at any time, which is part of this, there's simply the fact that we do not know what each day is going to hold. As much as we want to know what is coming and know what is in the future, there is so much in our life that is simply out of our control. So the second point is that we still can make plans. James is not condemning the making of plans. Even plans to go to such and such a city and spend a year there and engage in business and make a profit. This is part of life. And it is part of our responsibility to provide for our own, to be good stewards of the time and resources and abilities that we have. So we should make plans, despite the uncertainty that exists around us. But this leads to our third point. And that is, we need to acknowledge God in all that we do. We ought to say, as James says, if the Lord wills, we will live and also do this or that. Not only is this an acknowledgement that God is in control and there is so much that is out of our control, but it is also a recognition that what we do matters to Him. One day we will stand before the Lord in judgment, and we will give an account for what we have done in this life. So whatever we do, we need to make sure that it is in harmony with the will of God. So there are so many plans that we might make here in this life, and plans we might make for the future, but we need to make sure that we make these plans by faith. So let us recognize our own limitations and put our trust in God and acknowledge Him in everything that we do.